Hey everybody, thanks for being here today. In this episode, I'm going to be talking with Amy Masters about clearing the chaos. I hope you enjoy it.
You're listening to the Tribe Nail Tech Podcast, where nail techs find inspiration and motivation to take their career to the next level. We welcome you here. Now tribe up and slay your day. Here is your host, Becky Bunnell.
Hello everybody, welcome to this episode of the Tribe Nail Tech Podcast. I'm your host, Becky Bunnell, and today's episode is going to be Clear Your Chaos. And I have my special guest here, Amy Masters, and this episode today is sponsored by Sojel Nails. Hey guys, don't forget, hop on over to sojelnails.com/contest to enter for today's product giveaway. Hello, Amy.
Hi, Becky. Thanks for having me back on your podcast again. I appreciate that.
Of course, and it's been a while. We've done a few podcasts together, and I always love having guests on here. I especially love having my nail sister from another Mrs. and Mr. But we have good times together, and I was just reminiscing. I'm so sad because Amy was supposed to come to Utah this week and spend the week with me, and then things fell through and she didn't get to come. So I'm sad I don't get my Amy fix, and it's been a long time. But you like to get sick when you travel. So let's keep you safe and healthy because you got that little boy to take care of.
Yes, I know. I was really upset about that. But then today we woke up to 9 inches of snow and I was like, I really do need to be there.
Oh my gosh. And I've been sitting by our pool every weekend. So I'm sorry to rub it in. Dang it. That's what I said. I'm like, you guys need to get out here so you can enjoy some pool time with us.
Yeah. Which that ties into today's topic of clearing your chaos. When we have everything else organized and our chaos cleared, where we can be present and enjoy sitting by the pool and traveling and doing all the things we really do want to do.
Yes. Or you just, let it go and then it all piles up. But let's go with the other one, clear your chaos. So today's topic, clear your chaos. So we're talking about a couple different aspects of life about clearing your chaos. So Amy, I'm going to turn it over to you because you're launching a class here coming up May 1st. So tell us about your new class, and then let's talk about clearing your chaos in all aspects of our life.
Yeah. So this actually stems back quite a few years ago in our group Tech Talk Worldwide. We had gone on there and talked about getting organized. And for some reason, I just came up with the words of clearing your chaos, and it just kind of stuck. So every year around springtime, I'm like, it's time to clear your chaos. But really, we work on it all year round. We just have an excuse to be able to procrastinate it until spring. And I found that there's really 4 areas of your life that you truly have to spring clean. One is mental, physical, spiritual, and then truly your environment, which is, what we typically know as spring cleaning. And when all of those are in alignment, it allows you for growth. It allows room for growth, and you're not just cluttered and being bogged down with all the to-dos. You get them done. And so I came up with a process called the notebook theory. And seriously, it works. It stemmed off the notebook theory, and talking about clearing your chaos has created an organization part, and actually submitted all that stuff into Amazon for a book. And so, there's a system to it, and it's understanding what your strengths are, what you like to do, and being able to delegate those things that you don't like to do, or get them off your plate and then just say, I did it, and celebrate that. Mm-hmm. And get past the chaos where we just feel like we're never doing anything, and another year goes by and we're like, I'm just sitting pretty doing the same thing I did last year, and I never get to do this, I never get to do that. And it's about really clearing it, planning it, putting it into action, clearing the chaos.
Right. And it's so freeing. Mm-hmm. It is so freeing to clear that chaos. I'm just like you. I'm a notebook girl. And so we have that in common. I have pages, and every day I've got the list, and it's like, these are the things I'm going to get done today, or at least hope for. And if I don't, it's just so satisfying for me to just scratch that off. And then, hey, if it doesn't get done, it gets moved over to the other day. But I'm just really I love the feeling of being able to scratch off of what I did that day. And the notebook thing for me is, I love it. So talk about that. What do you mean by the notebook? Like, what do you do? What's your
So,
go-to?
so the notebook theory. So sadly, just on my desk alone, there's three. But the notebook theory for me is honestly just a crappy, cheap 25-cent notebook. Get them when school supplies are on sale. And I learned that I was using sticky notes all the time, which are expensive. And, it feels good to be able to take a sticky note and wad it up and throw it in the garbage. But truthfully, there's some finances that can tie into that if you have a big to-do list like you and I tend to have. And so I was like, I'm just going to use scrap paper. And I would write down all these things, and then I would only mark off some. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, I only got half the things done that I wanted to do because life took over. And there's a point where your reaction to what you did, you can either be happy about what you completed and celebrate that, or you be like, I only got half the things done. And now I have more things for my to-do list tomorrow, and I really want to do that today. And we start self-sabotaging ourselves of what we didn't get done instead of celebrating what we did. So I changed that because I was tired of living and feeling like I only got it halfway done. So in the notebook theory is where you write one topic of things you want to get done at the top of a page. Just one topic. That's it. You create an outline. So I always use like shampooing carpets. We always I'm going to shampoo the whole house today, right? I'm going to do all of this. The reality is do you have a shampooer? Write that down. I'm going to shampoo carpets. What do you need to shampoo carpets? You need shampoo. You need the shampooer. You need a day that maybe it's sunny outside so you can open the windows so it can dry. You need time. Is the room clear? Do you need help so that they can come in and help me move the furniture out so you can shampoo it? If you don't have a plan and the plan doesn't come easily, it's not on your to-do list for today. Okay. Do not self-sabotage yourself saying, I'm going to do this. Well, I have to go buy a shampoo, or I have to go get the shampoo. I don't even know what kind to get. And then you start researching, you go down a rabbit hole and it doesn't get done.
Right.
Or you stay up till midnight getting it done, which I know both you and I tend to do that stuff. And so the notebook theory is putting one topic at the top of the page. What do you need? What are the needs? Do you need people? Do you need money? Do you need time? Do you need other resources? What do you need to get that one thing done? And when the outline comes easy and you realize you have everything to do to complete that, that becomes the priority. That you can do, that you can mark off. The other things can just wait. And so you're not having these papers with scribbles all over it because half of them are done. You get to rip out the entire page and say, I did all of that. And then pretty soon you realize that you're going through an entire notebook. You talk about feeling gratitude. When you can say, I completed an entire notebook, it feels really good. Or you can save it and look back and say, I did this, this, and this. And, live life with the gratitude. We are only successful in the things we do when we look back and reflect and say, I did that. And you celebrate that moment.
Yeah. And it boosts your morale. It boosts your self-esteem. The more things we check off our list, then it keeps us motivated, and then we reach higher and higher and higher, and it keeps growing from there. So that's how I feel when I accomplish things. It's just like, and it's just this weight is lifted, and it's like, okay, I did that. So guess what? Now I'm going to do this. And it just keeps going from there. But
yeah, it's very motivating. I call it high performance mode, because when you're on that high and you can continue to see that hope and you're getting things done, you become unstoppable and you're in your high performance. And then you have a day where you just crash, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Because you got to look back with gratitude of everything you were able to achieve and then be like, I did.
I love that. I mean, I'm just going to say it. I love to be able to work really hard during the week so that on the weekends, I literally do not feel guilty to spend 10 hours by the side of the pool in the sunshine. Like, and I've loved that. This last year, I've been able to spend, like I said, during the week, it's chaos. I don't get to spend a lot of time with my family, with my kids. All those things are just like, I get here early. I'm the last, I'm first one here, last one to leave, and I work hard during the week. But on the weekend, I can say that I have been able to be better at just saying, guess what? I'm just going to be for the weekend, and I'm going to lay here and I'm going to enjoy my husband. I'm going to enjoy my kids. I'm going to enjoy the pool or whatever it is we're going to go. I mean, yesterday we did find snow. We drove and drove and drove to the top, and you wouldn't believe it because we've had some 80s here, but we drove clear up. And all of a sudden we were in this big snowbank and we got stuck for a second. And then we finally got out and the girls were freaking out. I have to laugh because there's that little side story, but our truck, the white one, it's covered in mud right now. It's sitting in front of our house covered in mud. It's hilarious. But I laughed so hard yesterday that we were getting stuck. And luckily, yes, we have 4-wheel drive. We have a great big truck, but it felt good to just be able to go and to laugh at the chaos that we were in yesterday in the mud and the snow. But there's a
Yeah,
lot
and
said.
the unexpected chaos like that, you could not have planned that at all. It was just unexpected, but it's how you reacted to it while you were in it. Like, did your girls get out and make snow angels after you guys had to dig in the mud to try to get it out? I mean, it's like you said afterwards, you're like, it was worth it. It was pretty cool, but it was your reaction to that. If not, you can have been like, that was a waste of a day and I should have been doing this instead. And so it comes back down to that mindset of celebrate, the chaos.
Yeah.
When I started talking about clearing your chaos, I've worked with a lot of techs over the years and stuff, and I realized the number one thing is that they get overwhelmed. And so I'm like, you have to clear your mind first before you can put anything into action, because if not, you're just running in circles. So overwhelm, every time that word comes up and they're like, I don't know how to get past the overwhelm. And the brain dump of the notebook theory is how you get past that. That's where you get your clarity. That's where you get your calmness from it. And then you can start processing, and going into the next steps. But when you have unplanned chaos, again, it's just your reaction. It's just your mindset of, okay, now what do we do? Then you create a new plan as you go. And obviously you guys aren't stuck. Thank goodness.
There's a lot to be said though for writing things down, because I find myself, I've got so much going on. I've got a lot of aspects of my business. I'm just not a nail tech or instructor, educator, podcaster. Like, I've got so many things, and I would make myself go crazy if I didn't have this notebook to be able to just be like, hey, like, this week, this is my next event. We're getting ready to do a big wedding up in Zion. It's a destination wedding for this bride. And we're having to take everything, the location, up to this huge resort. And, and so it's like this week, it's like I'm listing everything. Like, what do we have to pack up? What do we got to do? What is my team? These are the supplies you all need to have. This is what I want you to wear. Like, but I have to break it into events. And it's like, okay, I've got this and I'm going to focus on this right now. After Friday, then I'm focusing on my big nail art class coming up. Then I'm focusing on nail art camp. But if I don't write things down and break that down, like you said, like, my brain is running all the time. And like, I find myself not being able to sleep because I'm thinking of all these things. But if I've written it down, then I'm like, oh yeah, I've already got that wrote down. So let that go, get it off your stress, quit thinking about it, because it's already written down. You already wrote it down. So I think that's just huge. It's just such a great way to keep yourself organized.
Yes, exactly that. I'm so sad because this is the weekend that I was going to be able to be up there and go to Zion as well.
I
And
know.
so, I'm so sad about that, but that's just how it goes.
It's how it goes.
Yeah. And so when we talk about clearing the chaos, so we've talked about how to clear your mind. It's a brain dump. You got to write it all out and speak it. Sometimes you have to ask for help. And, and that's the hard thing to do, is ask for help. And we have to do that when it comes to the mind. We have to do that when it comes to the physical part of it. Sometimes we need help, moving something, or if we're cleaning our environment, we need help with that. Even on the spiritual side, if we don't ask the universe, ask God, ask your pastor of your church or somebody to help guide you along the way. And I think that one of the hardest things for us to do, anybody to do, is truly admit to ourselves that we're overwhelmed and that we need that help. Sometimes we just have to brain dump to somebody else. You and I have brain dumped to each other many times. And afterwards, you're just like, I got this. Yeah. And so if you don't allow it for yourself, and you don't start doing this process of, continuously doing this, you're just holding yourself back from being the best version of yourself.
Yeah. And sometimes we just need that person to just dump on for a minute. And a lot of times that's my husband, a lot of times that's you. But it's just saying, hey, like, I don't need you to solve my problem. I just need to talk about it and tell you what's going on, and just dump on them, I guess is what I say. And then I'm like, okay, got that out. I'm good, and So there's a lot to be said for that. And like you said, asking God, asking the universe, and, you know, angels, whatever you think, like voice it out there, because there are other help. And delegating, I'm really bad at delegating.
Me
I
too.
just don't like, I've gotten burned so many times by delegating to people to where they've failed me. I've given them a job to do because I needed their help, and they did not follow through. They didn't do it at all. I mean, not just to like not my specifications, because that's a whole nother ball game. Like we have to learn that, like, if we're going to ask somebody else to do something or delegate, we have to realize it is probably not going to get done how we want it done. And sometimes we have to learn to be okay with that. But like I said, I've got burned too many times to where it's like they've just totally dropped the ball. And then I was like, that reflected back on me, because I was supposed to do this thing and I delegated it to you because I needed help. And then you dropped the ball on me and you made me look really bad. Because if I'm going to do something, like I try my best to do it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
delegating is really tough for me.
It is. And here's what I find trying to really analyze delegating. When somebody gives me a job and they trusted me on something, I have the choice to say, you know what, that is not my strength. I am not going to do it to what you want. I'm going to get it done 50%. I'm going to be honest with you, because it's not something I've ever done before. I need to get knowledge on it. And I'm honest with them saying, I don't know that I'm the right fit for you. Or I'm going to get all the information that I need to and say, you know what, I got this. I don't have all the information. I'm going to do some research, and I will do my best for you. And I'm just laying it out for the other person. But when somebody accepts a job that's delegated to them or asked of them, and it's not their strength, they need to learn to set up a boundary and say, you know what, I'm not good at that, and I'm not your best choice, because there is somebody that is your best choice. Or you're allowing the other person to make the decision, saying, you know what, any help that you give me, I will appreciate, even if it is only 40, 50%. And then your expectations can come down a little bit, saying, okay, we're on the same page here. So it takes that communication. And so I have learned my strengths to say, you know what, I'm not good at that, or to voice, I don't know how this is going to turn out. And I know that you're on a deadline for this. I know I can do this part, but either find somebody else for the other part, or we got to just work through it. That is huge. And again, clearing the chaos. You're taking out all the elements of the overwhelm and the fear, and you're bringing it down to a level that's manageable, creating an action, plan, steps for it. And then when you go into action, the things will grow and evolve as you go through the process. And so clearing your chaos is huge. And when you look at it as chaos and that overwhelm, and you're like, this is what it is, and you label it, then you know how to break that down. But when you're like, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this, and you keep accepting, all this stuff, you don't got it. In fact, you end up at the end of the day got in nothing.
Yeah. And so it's important, was what I'm hearing, and what I'm thinking right now is it's okay to say no.
Yes, exactly that.
If we feel like we have too much on our shoulders and the timing is just not right, it is okay to say no. I'm sorry, but I just can't do that at this time. Maybe
Yeah.
reach out to me later. I would love to help at a different time. Just right now, I can't. Because if we say yes when we really can't, or we don't have the know-how or knowledge or whatever to do it, we're just adding more chaos to our lives.
How many times have we, like you and I are both yes girls, when somebody presents an opportunity to us, our first initial reaction is to go yes. Then we get the overwhelm and the, oh my goodness, is later, right? Okay. But then we still have that choice.
Right.
Do we contact the person again and say, you know what, I was excited for the opportunity. I think I kind of, it's okay to go back and then change your mind.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You're not going to set yourself up for failure when you're being honest like that.
Right.
And the other person's actually going to respect it so much more, that when the opportunity comes to work with you again, they know you're going to be honest, and they know what you're going to give, the value that you're going to give, and the time that you're going to give. And that anything else.
Right. Okay, well, so we talked about a few little aspects of the clearing the chaos. What part haven't we talked about? How about organization? We really didn't talk about maybe our areas, our homes, because I know there's a lot to be said, and we've talked about this before, even just with the flow of money or the flow of clients, business, success. If our surroundings are not clear and clean and clutter free, it actually has been proven that it will block the flow of money and success. And I know you believe it just as much as I do. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So I just did a series, and actually, so May 1st, I have another series called Clearing Your Chaos coming up. It's a free 30-day challenge for nail techs. And majority of it is about organization in your salon, but there is about your business side of it and then your mental side of it. So the number one thing in your home and in your business that I keep saying is nobody wants your stuff. Okay. The stuff that is sitting in a box that we're like, oh, I'm going to save this in case a new nail tech comes in, or I'm going to save this for my kids as they grow up. They don't want it. I pulled out a tub 4 years ago. My son is 26. Okay. So he was 22 at the time. I pulled out a tub. I had his umbilical cord, his first haircut. I had pictures of all this stuff. He thought it was absolutely disgusting. And I'm like, I have preserved this. I have saved this for you. They don't want your stuff. Get rid of it, clear it. And when you clear that space, it opens it up for freedom of not only clarity, but freedom of financial storage for that area or whatever you have to do. Sometimes people pay for storage units, but it clears the space for new creativity areas. Maybe it opens up an office area. Maybe it opens up a crafting area. Maybe it opens up an inspiration station area for you. Clear your chaos, but quit saving the stuff that nobody wants. Okay. And if they do want it, give it to them while you're alive. Yeah. There is nothing more fun than having a keepsake. So, for instance, I have my great grandmother's china. Okay. I use that china. And when it was gifted to my grandmother, I wasn't alive during that time, but when it was gifted to my grandmother, to my mother, she just stored it. She just saved it. She cherished it. But really, what is happening to that? It's just in a box. It has no purpose anymore. Give it purpose, bring it out, use it, give it to them while they're alive so you can watch them, whether it's jewelry or painting, whatever it is, give it to them and gift it to them and watch what they do with that. And so clearing the chaos is huge. And it's hard because we want to hold onto these things, but I realize it's not for my kids' memories. I'm holding on to it because I cherish that memory, but they don't want it. Just clear your chaos, gift it or donate it, but quit saving stuff like that. We don't need to. And so when it comes to organization, I watch those clean with me's. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with clean with me. And literally you're just watching somebody clean their house. I love watching what products they use. I'm like, oh, I learn little techniques, but the music is clean. That honestly, like vacuuming into straight lines, there's something, with the mental part of it that we can work through processes of whatever's on our mind. I tend to be one of those that when I have nervous energy, I clean and I do my best cleaning during that time because I'm actually processing what's going on mentally and around me while I'm doing that. But I love to go get like good containers, good smelling, aromatherapy type of cleaners and stuff too, because to me, it's an entire process. It's not just cleaning it. It's enjoying the process as I go through it as well, because truly nobody likes to clean, but it's our reaction to the chaos of how we're going to react to it to say, I'm going to make this enjoyable. And truly when you have the scents going and you have, the soft music going or whatever it is that works for you, maybe it's booty shake and stuff, you get into your groove and you get it done. And it's a mind clear, a physical clear, because, you're doing physical work and then you're organizing at the same time. It becomes, very gratifying.
It's very gratifying. And let's talk about even in the salon, because a lot of things happen when we have a good organized, clean space in our salon. One, we're attracting a certain type of clientele when they can come into that space and feel relaxed and not stressed out because your area is a mess. Two, we can speed up our services because we are organized and we know exactly where our products are. We know where our tools are. Know where our art is. We can just jump to it, grab it, and everything is organized and put away. and it just makes everybody feel good. I mean, I don't know, like, I know you all have a room in your house that's the junk room or it's the junk closet and stuff. It's like, really, what does it make you feel like when you go to that area? It really does suck the energy out of you, don't you think? And so if our home is a mess, we go home and our energy just gets sucked out of us. It's not a happy place. The energy isn't flowing. We don't feel good when we're there. I know I have a really bad habit. My bedroom is my worst nemesis. I mean, I will do the laundry, I will do all the things, and then I pile the laundry in my room after it's because I didn't have time to put it away. And then before long, me and my husband, we walk in and we look at our room and we're like, oh my gosh, how does it get like this every time? And then we spend like hours on a Saturday and we're like, we're going to get this cleaned back up. And then it feels so good for the longest time. And I love it. It's like a little sanctuary. It's our happy place. We want to spend time in there. And then it gets piled up again. And then it's like, you know what I mean? And so it really does affect you emotionally, mentally, whether it's clean or dirty. I'm sure all of you have noticed that. It's just, it can really change your whole attitude and your personality or whatever for the day, you know?
And so let's say it's in your salon and you get really busy and you did a lot of artwork on somebody and you don't take the time to put it away in between each client. The next person that comes in, everybody does this, they're going to have a judgment.
Yeah.
They're going to look at you like, and if they don't know you, is it like this all the time? It's not clean. They're comparing you to other places. If they know you, they're like, ooh, what have you been into? What are you doing? Here, let me help you move this away because they want their nails done. It comes down to even containers. In your salon, at your table, everything needs to, when you're working on a client for time efficiency and money, it needs to be at your fingertips.
Yep.
If you are having to get up to go get a file, get up or open the acetone to dump the acetone on your swab or whatnot, and then put on the lid, all of that is time and the evaporation with that. When you spend a few extra dollars to get something that's at your fingertips, it saves the evaporation, so it saves money there. It's quick, it's easy, it's clean, it looks nice. You've invested in yourself. It's not just the cheap containers, the other manufacturers or whatever put it in. There's a judgment in there that is completely transformed. Now you automatically, just because you got the container and people see you as efficient, all of a sudden their judgment of you rise above everybody that they can compare it to.
Right.
So you clear the chaos and you create the organization and you create, like you said, that sanctuary, that fun space, your work becomes more fun as well. And there's a flow that goes with it that I don't know. I kind of like the sounds of, like, I know this sounds funny, but when I go like this, that click sound, this is going to sound awful because I'm not a money, person like that, but I'm like, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I know that I'm organized. I know that I'm efficient. And I know that this and my job is resulting in some income for me so that I can either turn around and go buy more organization stuff. I can clear my chaos and go on a vacation or whatever, but I can invest in myself and then be able to give back to other people because I want to live bigger than who I am. And so when you clear your chaos, you have the time and the finances to be able to continue to grow.
Right.
Yeah.
So much to be said for that. Okay. So where do we start? Let's talk about if you're just overwhelmed right now, you've got a lot of chaos to clear, a lot of clutter to clear. What would you say would be the first step? Like, where do they need to start? Is it in the salon? Is it in the home? What do you suggest?
Brain dump. It's in your mind first.
Your mind.
You need to get it all out. And you need to, and then you need to brain dump and do the notebook theory so that you can organize what is next and you can put a plan to it. I need to buy containers. I need to buy tubs. I need to buy whatever. I need to get help. And once you create the plan, then you can go into priority of whatever it is. This is kind of difficult because I'm a business person and I know where my income comes from so that I can provide for my home and my family. I'm going to say you need to start with your business first.
Yeah.
Okay. One, it's a smaller space usually.
Yeah.
And you have control over that space. If you don't have income coming in, you don't have a system in place for you to create the income, your home life is never going to be where it needs to be, right?
Right.
If you do your home life first, then you're always going to be struggling getting the income to do what you want to do at home. So I'm going to be honest with you. For me, I concentrate on your business first and get that going and get the system going. And then you can control other things in your life. But you got to do your brain first.
Yeah. So brain first, we're going to write everything down. We're going to make a plan. We're going to make a plan of what we need to organize in our lives, business, our lives, everything. We're just going to dump it on this notebook. You're going to get a plan, and then start with your business, because true, like that's your bread and butter right there is your business. People are there every day. They're not in your home every day. Your clients aren't coming to your home. They might be coming to your home, but they might be just walking into an office if that's where you do nails out of. Fine. But that's the area you need to start with, is the place where you're doing your business. Get it done, figure out what you need to do. And like I've only been in my space, my new salon. I opened it, it'll be a year in June. And literally, I think we've changed it like 4 times already, like crazy. And I'm loving it. Every transformation, I'm like, whoa, I took out all the black shelving and now it's white shelving. And I've got organizational little bins for each station. And I'm like, put all your stuff in these bins. So all our bins are matching now. And it just looks cleaner and crisper. So every single station has the same little white decorative bins. So they're storage, but they look nice and classy. Anyways.
Yeah, but you took steps to get there.
Yes.
You didn't all of a sudden one day go in and transform everything. You're like, let's start here.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Well,
then
I didn't know how I wanted it. And as I've been in there, I have totally like adjusted and pivoted and been like, you know what? I think this is going to flow better like this. So we've made steps. And as more money has come in, we've done different things. But every time it's like a breath of fresh air. And everyone that walks in is like, whoa, 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 and I love that. But like you said, it's baby steps. And sometimes you don't always know what you need at that moment. And it's okay to be constantly transforming that.
yes. And our whole life is that way. If you look at seasons, I mean, you were just talking about snow, summer, all of that. Everything in life is meant to change and renew itself. Okay. One of the things when I talk about clearing your chaos, and this will throw us off just a little bit, is the sunflower seed. Okay. So every spring you're going to go in and you have to set the foundation for it. You have to get the right soil. You have to plant it at a certain time. You have to know what kind of a seed you're even going to grow. There's some research that goes in it and some planning. Then guess what? You have to water this thing. How long does it take to watch something come above the ground to fight all the elements in the environment and clear their chaos to where they can just barely sprout? Now we start to get hope in it when we see the sprout. Until then, we're like, was it a waste of time? Is it really going to grow? How come it's not growing yet? Like we put all this, stuff onto it. And so once it sprouts, we're like, hey, but then guess what? There's even more environments. Now you have deer that are coming around to eat it, and rabbits and insects and, rain and hail, whatever else that can destroy it. So you have to continue to nurture it, work with it as it grows. And then one day the face of that sunflower comes out. Now, guess what? A sunflower needs sunshine. If it doesn't have sunshine, it cannot grow. It has to go outside, it has to release, and it just has to breathe and exist. When a sunflower does not have sunshine, it will face another sunflower face to face, and it pulls the energy from each other. So when there's no sunshine, they still need something. And then when sun comes out again, they go back out again. But guess what? When a sunflower has been fully nourished and it has full growth, it has enough to re-give, which is sunflower seeds. Okay. And then you start the process all over again from the ground all the way up. Our life is the exact same way. We're constantly planting the seeds, constantly have to nourish it. But how many times do people give up before it even comes out of the ground? They get too frustrated and forget it. And they just go and get something else and, focus on something else. Stay with it. Watch it through completion. It's not easy. You're going to get resistance. You're going to get the environment. You're going to get the chaos. But when you know the process and you believe in what you're doing, it will come and be so fruitful, and it's going to be able to be that abundance for you to give over and over and over again.
It's so true. It is a process. It can't be done overnight.
It can clear overnight, but guess how long it took for us to build that up? Like your bedroom. How long did it take for you to get to go crazy? How many weeks, months, whatever it might be? And yeah, you could clear it overnight, but it's a maintenance after that. You have to continuously work on it.
You do have to continuously work on it.
And
So
I'll be honest, Becky, mine is my spare bedroom.
is it? Oh,
Dumped in there. We all have.
we all have that room. Oh my gosh, that we shove everything into, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to work on their business, and then as that's done, we can start looking at different areas in our home, getting it clean. I mean, because nothing's worse than coming home at the end of the day when you've worked so hard, and then you come into a house and you're just like, really,
Mm.
you know,
Yep.
it's
So
just, it's hard. But
Mhm.
then that affects you mentally, and then it physically, because you feel it really is like a weight on you. It really does it does affect you mentally. Your
Yeah.
body tightens up. You're just like,
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And so when we clear our chaos, like you said, it's time, but there is one day when you actually do the notebook theory and you've done the brain dump and you have a plan, that you get this hope. You get this energy that you didn't have before because you were bogged down. Once you get the energy and you keep going and you get the motivation, it keeps going and pumping. It's like I said, it's okay to have that day of crash. But what you need to do, the number one thing to get past the overwhelm and the plan, is to be grateful for what you did accomplish and celebrate that. And you and I love our massages, and I love the coffee and all of that. So for me, my advice is I treat myself with one of those. Some people like to go shopping or buy something new or take a vacation even. But you need to reward yourself for what you've completed, because there was chaos and you overcame that. And even if it's the smallest little thing that might have weighed down on you for a while and it only affected you, nobody else, you need to still celebrate that. And so if you don't have the celebration at the end, you're clearing chaos and you're just getting to a certain point and you're not realizing there's that hope that you had and that energy that you have. That is something special. Not everybody does get that. And that was a gift given to you for clearing your chaos. And celebrate that, cherish that moment.
celebrate it, even if it's just the happy dance in the kitchen. Shake it, girl.
Exactly.
I love that. I love talking with you, Amy. Let everybody know, when is your class starting? Where do they find the class? Give them your social media outlets and any information you want to right now before we wrap this thing up. Where can they find you?
My main, honestly, my main platform is Facebook. I'm just a Facebook girl. It's easy for me. It's a strength for me, as I say. So you can always private message me through Facebook. My website is thenailsource.biz. You can sign up and register for free for the 30-day Clear Your Chaos Challenge that's coming up. Most of it is going to be about truly cleaning and organizing, and every day us choosing one thing to clear and organize, but it also is going to cover a lot about mental and financial, physical, and spiritual side of it as well, because it's all encompassing. So thenailsource.biz is where you'll sign up for that.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. I feel like this is such a great episode. Everyone can benefit from this, guys. And you can find me at Nailed by Becky Bunnell on social media. My website is nailteched.com. And I would love for you to join my VIP Facebook group called a Tribe Nail Tech VIP group. And make sure you join our Tech Talk Worldwide Facebook group. We have a free class, Amy and I, that we do, Jumpstart Your Nail Biz. It is also a free group, which you would absolutely love. What is it? 7 days of all kinds of different topics every day. So that is free. So jump on there and be a part of that, guys. And well, Amy, I like to have you do this with me when you're a guest, so you know what's coming up. Are you ready for this?
Yes. And, we just always have to give a warning. We always think we're doing it at the same time. But at replay, we're always a little bit off. So if you that are watching join in with us, you help fill in the space. So you guys have to, if you guys have watched us at all, you know that we always end all of our shows with this.
We do. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Try up and slay your day. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Becky.